Don't Worry Darling, starring Harry Styles and the one and only Florence Pugh, is set to be released this month, so today I'm going to talk all about Florence Pugh. I'm your host Michaela, and let's get started. Florence Pugh was born on January 3rd, 1996 in Oxford, the daughter of dancer Deborah and Clinton Pugh. She has three siblings, actor and musician Toby Sebastian, actress Arabella Gibbons, and Raffi Pugh. She suffered from tracheostomy as a child, which led to many frequent hospitalizations. The family relocated to Soto Grande in Spain when Pugh was 3 years old, hoping the warmer weather would improve her health. They lived there until she was 6, at which point they moved back to Oxford. Also at 6 years old, Pugh played Mary in a school play, for which she spoke in a Yorkshire accent. She was privately educated at Whitchwood School in Oxford, but disliked how the schools did not support her acting ambitions. In 2016, Pugh starred in the independent drama Lady Macbeth, and appeared in the first series of the ITV detective series Markella. In the former, she played Catherine, an unhappily married teenage bride who grows violent. She won the BIFA Award for Best Performance by an Actress in a British Independent Film for the role. In 2018, Pugh garnered a nomination for the BAFTA Rising Star Award at the 71st British Academy Film Awards. She then played Cordelia to Anthony Hopkins' titular King Lear in Richard Gere's television film King Lear, and appeared in the short film leading lady parts in support of the Time's Up initiative. Later that year, Pugh portrayed Elizabeth Debure in the Netflix historical film Outlaw King, co-starring Chris Pine as Robert the Bruce. Charles Bramsco of The Guardian found her to be excellent despite her thankless role. She next starred in a 6-part miniseries adaptation of John Le Carre's spy novel, The Little Drummer Girl, in which she played an actress who becomes embroiled in an espionage plot in the 1970s, and her performance was met with praise. Richard Lawson of Vanity Fair credited Pugh for being terrific throughout, and added that she smartly mixes earthiness with sophistication and wisdom. Pugh starred in 3 major films in 2019, during which she was recognized as having experienced an international breakthrough. She first played a professional wrestler, Paige, in Fighting with My Family, a comedy drama about Paige's career, and the film premiered at the 2019 Sundance Film Festival to positive reviews. She credited the actress for being completely convincing as the wrestler, adding that she showed the same defiance, scruffy glamour, and self-deprecating humor as real-life Paige. Pugh next headlined Ari Aster's horror film Midsommar, which chronicles an American couple played by her and Jack Reynor who travel to Sweden and encounter a cult. Critics complimented Pugh's portrayal of Danny, with David Edelstein of Vulture describing it's amazingly vivid. Pugh was included on the entertainment category of Forbes magazine annual 30 Under 30 list, which recognizes the 30 most influential people in Europe under the age of 30 in 2019. Time magazine placed her on the artist category of its 100 Next list, which highlights rising stars and emerging leaders in their fields in 2021. In 2021, she starred as Yelena, Black Widow's sister, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe superhero film Black Widow and the Disney Plus miniseries Hawkeye. She described the Black Widow film as being about girls who are stolen from around the world. Released in 2021, the film garnered positive reviews from critics, who highlighted the actress's distinctive performance. Karen James of BBC Culture credited Pugh for making her the most vibrant person in the film, more lived in than most action movie characters. From 2013 to 2016, Pugh performed cover songs under the name Flossie Rose on YouTube. In 2020, she partook in the series Acting for a Cause for a live reading of Kenneth Longer's play This Is Our Youth to help raise funds for the Entertainment Industry Foundation, a non-profit organization during the pandemic. And Pugh was also featured on her brother's song Midnight, which was released on May 15th, 2021. She was also in the movie Little Women, and the movie is described as in the years after the Civil War, Jo Marsh lives in New York and makes her living as a writer, while her sister Amy, played by Florence, studies painting in Paris. Amy then has a chance encounter with Theodore, played by Timothée Chalamet, a childhood crush who proposed to Jo but was ultimately rejected. Their oldest sibling Meg, played by Emma Watson, is married to a school teacher, while shy sister Beth develops a devastating illness that brings the family back together. The Midsommar actress has only had one public relationship throughout her stardom, Zach Braff. Zach is most well known for a starring role in Scrubs on Disney Plus reboot of Cheaper by the Dozen, as well as Garden State, Oz the Great and Powerful, Wish I Was Here, and Moonshot. Florence confirmed she and Zach quietly broke up in early 2022 after nearly 3 years of dating. We've been trying to do this separation without the world knowing, because it's been a relationship that everybody has an opinion on. We just felt something like this would really do us the benefit of not having millions of people telling us how happy they are that we're not together. She added, "So we've done that. I automatically get a lumpy throat when I talk about it." During their time together, the couple often had criticism over their nearly 20-year age gap. After the couple went Instagram official in April 2022, Florence disabled comments on the post and shared a 4-minute video defending her relationship with Zach. "I'm 24 years old," she said. "I do not need you to tell me who I should and should not love, and I would never in my life ever tell anyone who they can and cannot love. Besides Zach, Florence was also linked to former Midsommar co-star Will Poulter in May 2022, after being spotted vacationing together. Florence quickly shut down the dating rumors on an Instagram story post from May 24, 2022. This is getting a little silly now. No, Will Poulter and I are not dating. We went to the beach with our friends who are always about half a meter away from us in every picture, but have been cleverly cut out / framed out so that it looks otherwise, she wrote. I understand that the nature of this job is that you sometimes get your privacy bulldozed by paparazzi, but to fabricate the stuff is actually more damage than good. Now onto the riches. She owns many cars, 3 of which are an Audi R8 that cost around $142,000, an Aston Martin Vintage that is worth $150,000, and a Mercedes-Benz S-Class that cost around $150,000. And she has a net worth of about $8 million. Now, what about her home? Well, before her breakup with Zach, she lived with him in a lovely LA home. The home was decorated in mostly neutral colors, with a beige couch matching the lampshades, wallpapers, and flower vases to add a soft, cute touch to the home. And the sitting room features a brown leather sofa with gray carpets. The home also features a piano, which she uses for practice sessions and has videos posted of her playing. Now onto her favorite part, the kitchen. Florence has been known for posting many videos of her spending time in her beautiful kitchen, always making something new. Now to talk about the new movie coming out this month called Don't Worry Darling. This movie is a mystery thriller, and it's about how a 1950s housewife played by Florence, living with her husband played by famous singer Harry Styles, in a utopian experimental community begins to worry that his glamorous company may be hiding disturbing secrets. Now the drama surrounding this movie. It's said that Florence hates Olivia Wilde, the director of the movie, who is also supposedly dating one of the co-stars, Harry Styles. It said that the first clue of something potentially going on between her and Olivia was Pugh's lack of promotion for Don't Worry Darling. It was odd, given that she is the leading female role, and her fellow co-stars have posted about the project frequently on their personal socials. The second trailer for the movie dropped. Instead of posting about this, Pugh posted about another movie she's starring in entitled Oppenheimer. Pugh made an effort to promote the movie last year when the first trailer was released, but she was suspiciously quiet this year until about a month before its premiere date, when finally she shared a short teaser on her Instagram. Not everyone gets this opportunity, she penned alongside the video. Olivia did, however, come out to say there's no feud between Florence and her, but who knows how Florence really feels about Olivia. I mean, with the rumors about how much Olivia was gonna pay Florence versus Harry is pretty drastic, so maybe she's mad about that and doesn't like Olivia because of that pay gap. Watching this woman work is an thrill. Cannot wait to show you more, Wilde wrote alongside a photo of her and Pugh working together on set. Pugh, however, didn't acknowledge this post. I have it on very good authority that the director was not involved in directing, as it would seem, a source told Du Moi, adding that the cinematographer had to step in and do most of the work, which allegedly angers some of the A-list cast members. While the post didn't call out Wilde by name, it didn't stop people from assuming that it was about her. Chris Pine made several TV appearances early in his career before starring alongside Anne Hathaway in The Princess Diaries 2: Royal Engagement in 2004. He portrayed the iconic Captain James Kirk in the 2009 remake of Star Trek, a role that transformed the young actor into a Hollywood A-lister. Along with headlining multiplex fare like Unstoppable in 2010, Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit in 2014, and the Star Trek sequels, Pine showed a comedic flair in the musical Into the Woods in 2014. He later co-starred in the highly successful superhero feature Wonder Woman in 2017. Christopher Whitelaw Pine was born in Los Angeles, California on August 26, 1980. He was no stranger to show business as a child, having a grandmother, Anne Gwynn, who starred in Bride and Cowboy in 1942 and House of Frankenstein in 1944, and a father, Robert Pine, known for playing Sergeant Joseph on the popular police drama Chips. Pine's mother, Gwen Glifford, and sister, Katie, also had minor acting careers. His mother later had to quit acting to go back to school to become a practicing psychologist. He has, however, said that acting wasn't his childhood dream. In an interview with IndieWire, the actor explained that he didn't really have much of a liking to the profession before making a career out of it. I never had a passion for acting, Pine said. Acting was something that seemed to pop out of nowhere and then just took over my life. It seemed to be fated, and it made a lot of sense. He continued, seemingly referring to the line of actors within his family before he spoke about directing as well. Directing, I never had a desire to direct, really, truthfully. Pine added, the idea for Pool Man started as this little pebble in a pond, and Pool Man was the directorial debut. Speaking with IndieWire, Pine explained the decision-making process behind how he chooses his film roles. I go where my interest is, and my interest just so happens in the past couple years to have these smaller-ish films. He explained of projects such as all the old knives and the contractor, noting that he has had the luxury of yes and no for 10 years or so really. When it comes to picking his film roles, Pine continued, "I think there's a clarity of purpose now and I have with my work and my life. It is very much more me. I just have a lot of things that I've sloughed off. I just know what I want, I know what I like, I know it will work for me," he added. Pine often spent time on Hollywood sets while growing up. Though he was mainly interested in sports throughout his youth, he decided to go into the family business of acting while attending the University of California, Berkeley, where he took acting classes before graduating with a degree in English literature. Chris Pine began his acting career on television with appearances on ER, The Guardian, and CSI Miami. With his boyish looks and striking blue eyes, it was only a matter of time before he was casted for the lead in a romantic comedy. Sure enough, he made his feature film debut in 2004, starring opposite Anne Hathaway in The Princess Diaries 2: Royal Engagement. Pine returned to the genre 2 years later, this time co-starring with Lindsay Lohan in Just My Luck. He was later given the opportunity to branch out as a German villain in the ensemble crime flick Smoking Anchors in 2007. In 2008, Pine landed the converted role of Captain James Kirk in the J.J. Abrams directed reboot of the famed Star Trek franchise, starring fellow up-and-coming actors Zachary Quinto and Zoe Saldana. Respectively, Star Trek was both critical and box office success upon its 2009 release, and Pine became an overnight star. He reprised the role of Captain Kirk for Star Trek Into Darkness in 2013, and again for Star Trek Beyond in 2016. The success of Star Trek opened more doors for Pine as he went on to earn additional prominent film roles. He starred alongside Denzel Washington in the Tony Scott thriller Unstoppable in 2010, got in the middle of a love triangle with Reese Witherspoon and Tom Hardy in the action rom-com This Means War in 2012, and stepped into the role of the titular CIA agent in Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit in 2014. He also branched out from the usual leading man fare, portraying a convincing bad guy in Horrible Bosses 2 in 2014, and showing a comedic touch in the off-color musical Into the Woods in 2014. After returning to type with a heroic role in The Finest Hours in 2016, he co-starred as a noble-minded bank robber in Hell or High Water in 2016 with Jeff Bridges. Pine next took on the role of Steve Trevor, ally and love interest to Wonder Woman in 2017, a huge hit thanks to the performances of Pine and co-star Gal Gadot. The feature breathed new life into the DC superhero universe and fueled production on a sequel, Wonder Woman 1984, which came out in 2020. In 2018, Pine enjoyed an important role in A Wrinkle in Time, based on a children's book, and starred in the historical drama Outlaw King. The following year, he rejoined Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins to headline the TNT new series I Am the Night, playing a reporter who follows a slippery slope down the trail of an unsolved mystery. Now onto his very long dating history. Chris Pine and Annabelle Wallis are famously private, and even though they were romantically linked starting in 2018, they did not walk any red carpets together. They were seen wearing matching looks while walking hand in hand in London in July 2018, but never confirmed their relationship on social media or by attending events together. Pine doesn't even have a social media, and Wallis typically uses hers to promote professional projects. The Hollywood pair reportedly called it quits after almost 4 years together, and it is not clear when exactly they split, though the news broke on March 1st this year. A source told ET Online, quote, "have broken up and haven't been together for a few months." Then in early 2017, rumors of Chris Pine dating his Star Trek Beyond co-star Sophia sparked after being spotted at Coachella together. Then Samira Mighty, a contestant on the show Love Island, stated in June 2018 she and Chris Pine had a brief fling back in 2016. Zoe Kravitz and Chris Pine had also dated from September 2014 to February 2015. Iris Bajork and Chris Pine had dated from November 2013 to 2014. Dominic Pike and Chris Pine dated from September 2011 to February 2013. Chris and Jasmine were also linked beginning in April 2010 when they were spotted on a Parisian getaway together. Chris Pine and Olivia Munn were also linked up in the fall of 2009, and insiders said they were quite serious early on. Still, a few short months later, it was reported that they'd parted ways. Chris and Audrina were also spotted out at dinner in LA, then were magically seated next to each other at the 2009 MTV Movie Awards. Then a month later, Chris reportedly dumped the Hills star because of all the attention they were getting as a couple. Hugh Garrett and Chris Pine had then dated from August 2008 to 2009. Now moving on to the riches of his life. Chris has a net worth of $35 million and owns a 1966 Porsche 912 Coupe for $47,000, a 1952 Porsche 356 for $150,000, a Porsche 911 Carrera S for $120,000, and a 2010 E90 M3 GTS for $190,000. But with all those nice cars, he must have a nice house to store them all, right? Well, you'd be correct. Back in 2021, it was reported that an unassuming 1940s home in a neighborhood of Valley Village, out in LA's suburban San Fernando Valley, was sold for nearly $1.4 million to Chris Pine. But the actor won't be returning to the Valley, as the 1,800 square foot house was acquired for a family member. But was this just a cover story so the paparazzi would leave him alone? Pine, however, supposedly remains in his Los Feliz retreat. On one side of the home, 2 guest bedrooms share a full single bathroom with the rest of the house. There's also a compact master suite with a surprisingly narrow 3/4 bathroom, though the space has been nicely upgraded with dual vanities and new stone countertops. Out back, the detached garage has been converted into a large office that could also function as a fourth bedroom, gym, or studio, and an attached bathroom is there for convenience. Arguably, the property's highlight is its pear-shaped swimming pool, which is surrounded by a grassy lawn. Back in 2010 though, Pine reportedly forked out $3.1 million for his current Los Feliz residence. Tucked into the foothills above Hollywood, the sprawling compound-like estate was previously owned by actor Jason Lee. Now everyone's favorite part, the drama. So for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna focus on the Chris aspect of the drama because there is a lot of it. After a conference to discuss the new Don't Worry Darling movie, the cast sat down for some interviews and Harry Styles was paired with Chris to discuss the movie. And here's just a short clip of Chris sitting next to Harry when he was talking about, honestly, I'm not actually sure, but I don't think Chris is either, but here's the video.
My favorite thing about the movie is it feels like a movie.
Chris was seen throughout all the interviews seemingly zoning out when Harry was talking. One person shared a close-up video of Chris listening to Harry's answer and tweeted, "You could almost see the screams catching inside his throat." Another person wrote, "I'm sorry, I do love Harry Styles, but Chris Pine dissociating whilst he's speaking nonsense is just too funny." After all the interviews, it was then time for the actual movie premiere, where most of the Chris drama happened. In a baffling video, Harry can be seen taking a seat while Chris, who was already seated, applauds his entrance. Just before Harry sat down, Chris looked shocked as he suddenly stopped clapping and glanced down at his lap. He paused for a moment before slightly shaking his head in apparent disbelief and smiling to himself. Needless to say, many people wondered what had triggered this reaction, and upon closer inspection, in a twist that nobody saw coming, it was theorized that Harry had spat onto Chris's leg. The glance at his lap also appeared to perfectly coordinate with where Harry's spit would have landed on him. Some noted that the video ended with Chris picking up his sunglasses from his seat, and claimed that he'd stopped clapping and appeared stunned because he'd found them after thinking they were lost. Olivia is an American actress and filmmaker, was born Olivia Jane Cockburn on March 10th, 1984 in New York City, making her 38 years old right now. Her parents are Leslie and Andrew Cockburn, and she has a younger brother and older sister. She grew up in Washington, D.C., going to private school, while she also spent her summers in Ireland, which gained her dual citizenship in both places. In high school, she changed her last name to Wilde to pay a tribute to the writers in her family. She was accepted in Bard College and put off enrolling into the school 3 times so that she could act. She did, however, go to Georgetown Day Private School along with Phillips Academy in Andover, Massachusetts, which she did graduate in 2002. Olivia started acting in 2003 with her first role in the show Skin as Jewel Goldman. However, she's known for her role in The OC as Alex Kelly. She's been in many movies and TV shows, for example, The Girl Next Door, Conversations with Other Women, Alpha Dog, and The Death and Life of Bobby Z, just to name a few. Now, I haven't heard of many people playing characters with their same name, but she has. In 2015, she played the role of Olivia in 5 episodes of British TV series Doll and End. Olivia was featured in a documentary series called Half the Sky, turning oppression into opportunity for women worldwide. It followed her as she learned about the struggles that women face in Kenya. Olivia Wilde is also actively involved in multiple humanitarian projects and is a political activist, as she has been a board member of Artists for Peace and Justice. Olivia was also a strong supporter of a youth voting organization called 18 in 08. In 2011, she became a global ambassador for Revlon. Olivia started directing and screenwriting in 2011 with the short film Free Hugs for Glamour magazine's short film series, and in 2013, she wrote an article titled The Do's and Don'ts of Turning 30, which they published. She started producing in 2012 and starred in and executive produced Drinking Buddies in 2013. Now onto the dating life. Olivia Wilde married, at the time 26-year-old Tao Raspool, Italian-American filmmaker, when she was only 19 years old. The couple eloped in 2003 and then separated in 2011 after being married for 8 years. Olivia had said to Lifetime's The Conversation in 2012, "I really had a sense that I had stunted my growth. I think that's one of the things that made me feel so uncomfortable in my marriage." Olivia was then dating Jason Sudeikis later in 2011, after his marriage to Kay Cannon ended in 2010. Ouch. The two later got engaged in 2013 and had their 2 children, Otis and Daisy, in 2014 and in 2016. In November 2020, Olivia and Jason decided together that they were no longer going to be together after 9 years of marriage. In January 2021, Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles were seen attending Harry's manager's wedding together, and it was said that they had instantaneous chemistry when working on set together for Don't Worry Darling, in which she just so happens to direct. Alright, so that concludes our video about Olivia Wilde on The Rich Life. Let us know who you want us to do a video on in the comments below. I'm your host, Michaela, and I'll see you guys next time. Florence Pugh finally speaks out about Olivia Wilde. So Florence didn't say anything directly, but her stylist did make a note on the feud between her and Olivia. Florence Pugh's stylist called the actor Miss Flo, in an apparent hit at Don't Worry Darling director Olivia Wilde. The film starring Pugh and Harry Styles has been plagued by reports of behind-the-scenes drama, including a rumored falling out between Pugh and Wilde. One of the biggest indicators of this falling out came when Shia LaBeouf, who was originally cast, shared a video of Wilde asking him to return to the production. Appearing to hint at the friction with Pugh, Wilde says in the clip, "I think this might be a bit of a wake-up call for Miss Flo." Wilde had previously claimed that she fired LaBeouf from the production to help ensure that Pugh felt safe, something LaBeouf denied. On September 5th, Pugh was not present at a press conference for the movie at Venice Film Festival, saying that the late plane arrival was the reason. Earlier reviews of Don't Worry Darling have seen critics left unenthused by the film, with Pugh's performance nonetheless singled out for praise. Olivia Wilde and Florence Pugh get into a screaming fight on set. The latest reports come from Vulture, who published a story assessing the film's odds of scoring at the box office recently. The outlet's sources stayed anonymous, most likely because of the fireballs they were throwing. A source who reportedly spent a good chunk of time on the Darling set confirmed to the outlet a blowout argument. A quote, "screaming match took place between director Wilde and star Florence Pugh in January 2021, about 3/4 of the way through filming. Pugh was reportedly frustrated with the director's allegedly frequent absences from set, which apparently involved co-star Harry Styles as well. Olivia Wilde and Harry would just disappear," the source told Vulture. Wilde talked around questions about a feud with Pugh during an appearance on Stephen Colbert's Late Night Show, pivoting to a non-answer about whether Styles actually spit on co-star Chris Pine. She says he didn't. She told him she had nothing but respect for Florence's talent and held nothing against her for any reason. But let us know what you think is going on, and make sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time.